Hi everyone, this is a short video on how to do the homework. I'm also going to throw in a little bit of teaching here, so hopefully it will work. All right, a couple of things Microsoft wants you to know. Down in the lower right hand corner, my view is currently 100%. If I hit the plus button a few times, I can bring that up to 120. Those of us that wear glasses find this a handy little shortcut. The other thing Microsoft loves, or our chapter loves, is this P button up in the home paragraph section here. What that does is it shows all the where you have paragraph breaks or spacings and things like that. The only really useful thing here is to see that Microsoft automatically puts spaces in between paragraphs, and the P there means it's a paragraph. So I'm just going to take that off because I find it annoying. All right, so one of the first things we want to do is we want to do what's called the outside address, or your address. Don't put in your real address, please. Just make one up. All right, so what I can do is, again, go to the paragraph box. And we go to the line spacing drop down and remove space after paragraph. All right. The second way I can do it, which I find easier, is I can hit the control button, the CTRL in the lower left-hand corner, in the A, so that's select all. And I'll just take out all the spacings just because I know I'm not going to need them. All right, so that's the first thing I've got in my address here. I just use Castleton's address. Next thing is you should put a date. One handy thing is if you go to the Insert menu and over on the right in the what they call the text box, you can insert date automatically there. And typically with the letter, you write it out this way. All right, so there's my date. And I want a space between my date and the inside address. Now, the inside address is the person I'm sending it to. So you want their address on the top. You want at least a space after that. I will add one thing. The more modern way is, instead of the outside address here, you'd put your company logo in the header. To get to the header, the easy part is you just double click above the first line and boom, it puts you in the header, and you could get to the footer the same way. To get out of it, I'll just double click in the body again. All right, so now I have my two addresses. Then I want to start with the salutation. It's always right to use a person's real name, so I used the Dr. Travely. Notice that the proper way to do it here is with the the colon, and not just a comma. Again, I want a space. Whoops, I don't want a space there. Now, Word uses what they call a block format, so everything is to the left. There's other types of formats that you could use for different justifications. Like the other way to do it is you just hit the tab button in front of the thank you, and this brings this over. That way you wouldn't have to put spaces between paragraphs. But again, the more modern way to do it is the block. So I'll just go back. I'll just go to the left justify here. Why isn't that taking that off? All right. The other way to do it is you could launch it through the paragraph launch button here. What I just undid was you could set up some special. This one was the first line to automatically do the indents for you if you're going to use a different style. Now, while we're on it, I'll just show you that there's 4 different types of justifications. So I'm going to select the first paragraph. Right now we're in, this is left justified. So all the words are to the left of my margins. And you notice there's space over here at the right when a word ends. I could center everything, but this is more for titles. I could right justify. This is handy on a resume if you want to get the date of graduation all the way over to the right. Or there's what they call just plain justify. This is similar to the left, but you notice Microsoft adds words, so you go margin to margin. Again, we're just going to use the plain old left right here. All right, in the block style. Now I get down here and I have what I put in as a bulleted list. But right now it kind of looks just silly the way it is. So the way you do a bulleted list, again, up in the paragraph button, you have your choice of all the different bullets you'd like to see. If you hover over them, you can see what it would look like. You could also use numbers, but in this case, I think bulleted list would look better. So I'm just going to hit bulleted, and there I have my detail. Now we get down here, we have this salutation or the close. Our book uses sincerely, but you could use sincerely yours. You could use best regards. I've seen people just use some regards. Down the bottom of the letter, after that, you want to put in about 3 or 4 spaces, because in an old school letter, you need room to sign your signature. And then you'd write out your name, like mine is Ed Dansereau. So I'd sign Ed Dansereau under it. If you have a title, here you put in the title. I'm a professor of business, I would put that in. And your affiliation. I wanted to add one other thing here. No, wait, it's already in there, never mind. So that's where we go. Now, in case you make an error, let's say I accidentally delete this line, which I always do because I'm a lazy typer. Up the top, there's a couple of buttons, what they call the redo button and the undo button. So I call it the oh shit button. So I'm going to hit the oh shit button, and it brings mine back. So if you accidentally do something, you can undo it right there. One of the things I wanted to show you is I purposely put in some errors in here, some spelling errors. The red means it's a spelling error. The blue line under it means it's a grammatical error. What Microsoft wants you to do is, in the review section, you could do a spelling and grammar check. What I find is easier is I add it to my toolbar up top. If you don't see it, the option right here, you can go to File. Down the bottom is Options. There's one for proofing here. There's one for saving. And there's one for the Customize ribbon. So if you go to the Customize, you could add different things. We're in the Quick Access toolbar. So if you go all the way down to spelling, which begins with an S, spelling and grammar, add, OK. Now you can see that I have my spell check in my Quick Access toolbar here. I recommend this just because it's fast and easy. So I'm going to hit spelling. The first thing it comes up with is doctor. It also came up with Trevani there. Oh, come on. So again, do the spelling, grammar. It's questioning the grammar. I took this right out of the book, and there's a grammar error right there. But you could ignore, you could accept, or you could do different things here. So we'll just let that go for now. Actually, I'll accept their change. Again, another grammar error. Instead of will, it should be willing. Vaccination. You just click on it and it puts it in. I'm going to ignore that for a second. The other thing I wanted to do is, here's a hyperlink to my email address. You don't like hyperlinks in papers. The easiest way to get rid of a hyperlink, or if you want to add one, to add a hyperlink, is you highlight it, you right click, and down here you can edit the hyperlink, open it, copy, but what I'm going to do here is remove. And you see how that just makes it the same text as everything else. My last grammatical error down here is I put Vermont State University at Castleton. You could see that it doesn't like the at sign. So I could take their grammar, or sometimes it's just easier to do yourself. So that's the better way to do it. All right, so the last thing you want to do is save this document. Again, in your quick access toolbar, there is what's supposed to look like a floppy disk, and most of you probably don't know what a floppy disk is. You could save it there. The first time you do it, it will automatically go to a save as. From then on, it will just go to the file. The other way to do it is you click on File, do Save As. It always wants to try and store it to OneDrive. If you go down the bottom and hit Browse, it will allow you to save it in your own computer. So I'm just going to save it here. All right. So now that you've saved, that's it. Just upload the document to me. I cannot read Mac files. So if you have a Mac, you may want to save your file as a PDF. Or when you go to Save As, you have your options here of how to save it. Save it as a Word document. That's for Mac users. If you have a PC, it should do it automatically. All right, so that's it. I hope this helped. Bye now.